Remember this? The feel of a freshly developed photo in your hands, the excitement of picking up a pack of pictures from the store, hoping you got the shot? For over 100 years, one company owned these moments. They didn't just sell cameras, they sold memories. They were called Kodak. So what happened? How did a company that was once a household name with 80% of the global market end up bankrupt? Most people think Kodak failed because they missed the digital revolution, but that's not the whole story. In fact, it's the opposite. What if I told you that Kodak actually invented the world's first digital camera in 1975? And what if I told you that instead of launching it, they buried it? Stick around, because this is the story of how one of the world's most innovative companies committed corporate suicide. To understand how Kodak fell, you first have to understand how big they were. Founded in 1888 by George Eastman, Kodak's mission was simple: make photography accessible to everyone. Before Kodak, cameras were for professionals. They were bulky, expensive, and complicated. But with the invention of the Brownie camera in 1900, suddenly anyone could be a photographer. And this is where their genius business model came in. It's called the razor and blades model. You've probably heard of it. Sell the razor, the camera, for cheap, sometimes even at a loss. Then make all your money on the blades, the film, the printing, the chemicals. And it worked. For decades, Kodak was a money printing machine. Every birthday, every vacation, every graduation, every Kodak moment meant more money for Kodak. By the 1970s, they were on top of the world. 145,000 employees, billions in revenue, and a near monopoly on how we captured memories. They were untouchable, or so they thought. Now, imagine you're a young engineer at Kodak in 1975. Your name is Steven Sasson, and you've just created something that will change the world. It's a camera with no film. It captures an image, converts it to digital information, and displays it on a TV screen. It's the world's first digital camera. This is it. It weighed 8 pounds, took 23 seconds to capture a single black and white photo, and had a resolution of 0.01 megapixels. By today's standards, it's a joke, but in 1975, it was the future. So what did Kodak's management do when Sasson showed them his invention? Did they see the future? Did they pour money into it? Did they prepare for the digital age? No. They told him, and I quote, "That's cute, but don't tell anyone about it." Why? Because Kodak's entire business was built on film. Every digital photo taken was one less roll of film sold, one less print made, one less donor for Kodak. They saw digital not as an opportunity, but as a threat to their cash cow, and so they buried it. For the next 20 years, Kodak lived in denial. They continued to pour money into film technology, convinced that digital was just a fad. They even spent a decade fighting a marketing war with Fuji, arguing that film quality was superior. But the world was changing. Digital cameras were getting better, cheaper, and more popular, and Kodak was being left behind. Have you ever been so committed to something that you refuse to see the writing on the wall? That's what happened to Kodak. It's called commitment bias. They had invested so much in film, factories, employees, marketing, that they couldn't bring themselves to pivot. They were afraid of cannibalizing their own business. But here's the thing about disruption. If you don't cannibalize yourself, someone else will do it for you. By the time Kodak finally decided to get serious about digital in the early 2000s, it was too late. Companies like Sony, Canon, and Nikon owned the market. And then came the final nail in the coffin, the smartphone. Suddenly, everyone had a high-quality digital camera in their pocket. The need for a separate camera, let alone film, evaporated almost overnight. The end was swift and brutal. In 2004, Kodak stopped selling film cameras in the US and Europe. In 2009, they stopped producing their iconic Kodachrome film. In 2011, they were kicked off the S&P 500 stock index. And on January 19, 2012, the company that had defined photography for a century filed for bankruptcy. Imagine being Steven Sasson, the man who invented the digital camera in 1975. He watched his own company ignore his invention, then spent the next 30 years being destroyed by it. It's one of the greatest ironies in business history. So what can we learn from Kodak's failure? It's not just about technology, it's about culture. Kodak had the technology, they had the engineers, they had the brand, but they didn't have the courage to disrupt themselves. They were so focused on protecting their existing business that they missed the opportunity to create a new one. The story of Kodak is a warning to every company and every person. The world is always changing, and if you're not willing to adapt, you'll be left behind. What do you think? Was Kodak's failure inevitable, or could they have been saved? Let me know know in the comments below. And if you want to see more stories of epic business failures, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. If this video gets 50 likes, I'll do a deep dive on another company that failed to adapt, Blockbuster. Thanks for watching.